Hey everyone, sorry for the mic quality being so bad. I promise it'll improve throughout the video. Thank you so much for joining me today. I just want to mention something quick before we start the video. This was a video I made, I think 8 or 9 months ago. It was one of my first YouTube videos, and it is one of my favorites because it's one of my most viewed videos, so thank you for that. However, for those who are unaware, I privated a lot of my earlier videos and I'm remaking them into a higher quality. I did it already with my first Stolus video, which will be getting a part 2 soon, and I figured I'd release one more video before my Stolus part 2 video comes out just to hold you guys over so you guys aren't waiting for so long for a new video. I'm just saying this to let y'all know, like, I'm not just hopping on the Angel hate bandwagon, alright? I've hated this guy for a long time, okay? I just want to make that clear. Alright, let's get into it. Oh boy, this is gonna be the video that people hate me for, but hey, I have fucking, which one is it again? I have the First Amendment right, which gives me the right to speak my mind and say what I please. Ever since I first watched Has Been Hotel, I always had mostly negative opinions towards Angel, and I got absolutely slammed for it, even by my own friends. The same thing happened when I got into Hell of a Boss like 2 years ago, and I always never liked Stolus, and people were mad at me for it. But now I'm glad that I see more people starting to realize that Stolus isn't a good person, and he isn't as innocent as the show wants you to believe. So I do feel a little better about posting this video now. I feel like if I had posted it a couple months ago when Has Been first came out, I would have been at the top of BuzzFeed's most wanted list. But now that a few months have gone by and more people are starting to realize the flaws in not only Angel, but the show Has Been itself, I feel a little better about posting this. But I still do feel like he is one of those characters who is highly protected, even more so than Stolus. Sure, Stolus fanboys and fangirls and fan-theys will like freak out if you criticize him, but I feel like Angel just has far more of like a cult following than Stolus does. He's like that one character that you can't criticize. Something that really pisses me off about this fandom is I don't think a large portion of them seem to understand that you can sympathize with a character without justifying their shitty actions. Okay, controversial opinion, people may be mad at me for saying this, but I don't have a problem with Has Been Hotel simply making jokes about SA. The problem is the way the jokes are executed. I'm all for dark humor. I've experienced an assault in my life, and I joke about it all the time. I cope with humor, and if I don't laugh about it, I'm gonna cry about it. But there is a huge difference between saying something fucked up and actually doing something that's fucked up. You can make light of a fucked up situation by making a joke about it, but that is completely different from actually showing that fucked up situation and playing it off as something that's supposed to be funny. Not to mention, both Has Been and Hell of a Boss are both very inconsistent with these jokes. Sometimes SA is portrayed as a serious topic, but other times it's portrayed as something that's supposed to be funny. I talked about this in other videos, but I specifically remember 2 instances in the Hellverse where SA is treated as a joke. The first is in the Spring Broken episode in Hell of a Boss, the second one is in the club scene with Penches. But all of a sudden, when HuskerDust is getting assaulted by Valentino, the show wants to portray that as something that's supposed to be serious. It makes no sense, and it's honestly incredibly disrespectful towards Penches and Moxie, and it genuinely pisses me off. Angel is shown violating people's boundaries throughout the show many times, mainly with Husk, which is really aggravating because Husk is clearly really fucking uncomfortable with it, and Angel doesn't get the hint, which I'll get more into later. He also does this with Alistair. I've already talked about this in a community post, but I'd like to go more in depth on it now. This comment is referring to this scene.
I swear, if you film me going at it with Mr. Fancy Talk Creepy Voice here, you'd be rolling in participants willing to stay at this tacky hotel.
Haha, never going to happen.
And I know I make this argument all the time, but imagine if Angel was a straight man and Husk and Alistair were women. Can you fucking imagine how much outrage there would be if that was the case? People would be calling Angel a creep and a pervert, but since he only sexually harasses men, people just think it's so cute. And no one can tell me I'm wrong. Compare the way people react to Angel to a character like Mineta, for example. Most of the My Hero fandom hates him because of the way he treats girls, but in Angel's case, it's just fine. A sizable portion of Has Been Hotel and Hell of a Boss fans infantilize gay people whether they realize it or not, and I hated it. So other people have already covered the humor in this show, so I'm gonna keep it short. This is coming from somebody who makes and laughs at sex jokes because I'm very immature, but I never found HuskerDust funny. And I'm not claiming to be like a comedian or anything. I'm not very funny myself, but it's just the same joke over and over again. Like, how is that supposed to be funny? I think sex jokes can work if they're done right and they're not overdone, but the Helliverse basically relies on sex jokes. I think that many of the jokes in Helliva and Has Been are so over the top. They both seem to focus more on shock value humor, which can work, again, if it's not overdone. That being said, I feel like the jokes where they don't try as hard are actually funnier than the ones they go over the top with. Also, I don't like the fact that Angel is used for sex scenes when he's literally been... That's also a reason why I really don't like the music video for Poison. I will go into this more in depth later though. Okay, so before we get into this next section, there's something that I want to clear up that I completely forgot to mention in my old Angel Dust video. I mentioned the fact that a lot of fans use Angel Dust being hypersexual as an excuse to justify his actions, but I completely forgot to mention the fact that Angel is not canonically hypersexual, he is just incredibly implied to be. So in this section, when I talk about people using the excuse that Angel is hypersexual, I'm not saying that he is for a fact hypersexual, I'm just saying he is so I don't have to repeat the whole, oh well, he's not confirmed to be hypersexual, but it's heavily implied that he is, you know, if that makes sense. So again, I just want to reiterate the fact that Angel Dust is not canonically hypersexual. So I may be biased, but I guess the reason why I'm so upset about this is because I've been in a very similar situation to Husk. I'm not gonna get too far into it because it's like, this is not supposed to be a trauma dumping video, but keep it short, I was sexually harassed by this guy multiple times, even when I made it very clear I was uncomfortable with his advances. And then people who weren't even there to witness what I had to go through had every fucking excuse in the book to try to justify it. Again, I'm not gonna get too far into details, but let's just say the guy who did it has like a mental problem, and apparently that makes it okay for you to make someone else uncomfortable. So I guess that's why when I see people trying to justify Angel's actions by saying, oh well, he's probably hypersexual, or oh well, he has trauma, like pisses me off so much. You can acknowledge the fact that what Angel has gone through is horrible without using that as some kind of leverage to justify what he has done. Just because you were hurt by somebody, that doesn't give you a right to hurt an innocent person. It pisses me off that like everybody has to have some kind of fucking justification for everything. Like when a student is bullied, they're told, oh well, think about what your bully is going through. Everybody's got something that they're going through, but you don't see every kid going out and bullying kids that have never bothered them before. Or if we want to take it to a more serious level, like when a woman is, and you'll see a bunch of assholes saying, well, what was she wearing? Like, can't we just call out shitty behavior when we see it without people trying to say, oh, well, but maybe this, maybe that. Like, no, maybe you just did something shitty and you deserve to be called out for it. I don't care what kind of quote-unquote justification you may have. Like, imagine telling a victim of what Husk has gone through that they need to be patient and understanding because the guy that was sexually harassing you has trauma and he's probably hypersexual. He couldn't control himself. It's not his fault, guys. You need to put yourself in his shoes and understand where he's coming from. Yeah, shut the fuck up. And the whole excuse, well, Angel is hypersexual, he can't control himself, has always been really funny to me because like, oh yeah, that defense will totally hold up in court. Officer, it wasn't my fault. I'm hypersexual. Oh, why didn't you just say so? Alright, sir. You're free to go. And I also find the, oh well, Angel might be hypersexual excuse to be really funny because you know damn well the people using that excuse would not be using it if it was a straight man harassing a woman. Like, imagine if this was a real world situation, and before you tell me, oh well, this is a cartoon, why are you putting it into real world terms? Sorry, but fiction does in fact affect reality. If a ship would be toxic or problematic or questionable in the real world, you probably shouldn't be shipping it in a cartoon. So again, as I was saying, imagine this situation in the real world. Imagine if this was like a court case, the straight guy who did the harassing was like, well, I got raped in the past, guys. Do you think everybody in that courtroom would be like, oh no, you poor baby, oh you can go, oh I'm so sorry? Like, no, like that's not what would happen. And I'm not saying this to say that female victims always get taken seriously. Of course not, they don't, and it's incredibly sad, but you would be lying if you said that male on male assaults and female on female assaults and female on male assaults weren't swept under the rug in comparison. I don't mean to sound harsh, but this is a very sensitive and personal subject for me, so for everybody who says that, oh well, Angel violating Husk's boundaries is just a coping mechanism, I bet you won't keep that same energy when it happens to you. Yes, Angel's sexual behavior is a trauma response, but not all trauma responses are excusable and valid, especially when it involves hurting other people. When Angel eventually opens up to Husk, he claims that this whole sexual persona is quote-unquote who he needs to be because he's so used to people only wanting him for sex and all that, and he wants people to think that he's not suffering, so he puts on this fake persona. Yeah, not a good excuse. I don't care what anyone says, what Angel is doing is still selfish as fuck. This isn't a healthy coping mechanism. I've had thoughts that people only wanted me for my body too, and hey, guess what? I don't go out and fucking sexually harass people just to keep up a fake persona. I may be an asshole, but at least I have some standards. Another point of Angel being selfish is in this scene. I couldn't find the whole thing on YouTube, but it's basically the scene where Husk is like calling everyone out. He says that Charlie tries to fix everyone else's problems because she can't fix her own. He basically just calls out the whole hotel, so I'm gonna call out Husk for this too. This was kind of uncalled for, but what bothers me is how Angel is the one who laughs about everyone else's issues while firmly denying his own.
Oh, you weren't kidding! Oh, wow. Kitten's got claws.
And you! Don't get me started. I see right through you and all this bullshit and how fake you are.
Oh, me? Fake? Wow, I had no idea.
Look at how sad and uncomfortable Vaggie looks, and Angel's just laughing about her and everyone else being uncomfortable, but then, oh no, when Husk calls out Angel, that's when he flips. So you can laugh at everyone else's flaws, but as soon as people call you out for yours, you act like you don't have any. Something else that pisses me off is this. Look at how fucking hypocritical Angel is being.
Oh, I forgot. You're the wise old bartender who's seen it all. Get the fuck over yourself and pour me a real drink.
Angel is mocking Husk despite knowing little to nothing about him or the experiences that he's had to endure in his life. That's incredibly fucking rude and disrespectful. Don't know what somebody's going through, and acting like this, speaking to them in such a condescending way is incredibly hurtful. I'm sure Angel wouldn't like this if Husk did it to him, so why is he doing it to Husk? Actually, I mean, yeah, I know why. It's a coping mechanism, but that still doesn't make it okay. Any coping mechanism that involves hurting other people is selfish. You can push people away and close yourself off without being a dick to others. It's really not that hard.
And where should I look? In your bedroom, maybe? Under the covers? Maybe we can go look together.
Don't even start.
Oh, come on. I bet I can make those wings flap.
Ah, fucking Christ!
Husk clearly says don't even start, and Angel for some reason decides to move closer and continue to flirt. You know, there's a word for that. Oh, I wonder what it is. Oh wait, no, it's fine because it's two guys, but if this was a guy sexually harassing a woman, then everybody would be calling Angel a creep, but because it's gay, it's just really cute and wholesome and adorable because, ooh, gay boys, I guess. Something incredibly minor that still pisses me off is that I've seen so many people being like, oh my god, listen to the way Husk is purring.
Even start.
Cats purr when they're happy. He's enjoying this. Shut the fuck up, man. No, he's not. He is clearly so uncomfortable. Also, it's low-key so funny to me that Angel looks so pissed off when Husk pushes him off. Like, how dare you not let me violate your boundaries? That's fucked up, man. So not cool. Like, what did you expect? Oh my lord. Angel... Look, buddy, I know you have trauma, but like, what the fuck? I feel like somebody who was a victim of SA in the past knows how shitty it is and wouldn't want to put anybody else through it. But no, apparently. I guess not.
You can cut the act already. It's never gonna work on me, so all you're doing is making an ass out of yourself with this fake bullshit. Maybe I'd treat you better if you were real and not some bullshit version of yourself, always pushing my boundaries.
I've mentioned this before, but I just hate the fact that Husk really only calls Angel out for being a fake person. He only makes one tiny comment about Angel sexually harassing him, which is the bigger issue here.
You think I asked for it? I don't ask for any of this shit. I didn't ask to be this way. I didn't ask for Charlie to save me. I didn't ask for you to save me. I can handle myself.
Yes, Angel is right, but at the same time, this is still incredibly ungrateful and shitty. Husk knows Angel didn't ask for help, but he wanted to help because he cares about Angel. Even after everything Angel did to him, Husk still cared about him. So for Husk to go out of his way for Angel out of the kindness of his heart, just for Angel to say, I didn't ask for you to save me, is just really shitty. And look, I get it, I hate asking for help too. It makes me feel embarrassed and makes me feel useless and weak as fuck. But if someone helps me, or offers to help me, or goes out of their way for me out of the genuine kindness of their heart, you know what I do? I thank them. Even if I didn't ask for the help, even if they don't give me exactly what I need, I still say thank you because I feel that's the least I can do for them helping me.
That fucker puts up in your drink.
You don't think I can tell if someone spikes my drink? I do this all the fucking time. So, now you're gonna act like you give a shit about me? You think after how you treated me, I'm gonna open up to you? Please.
And something I haven't seen anybody mention is the fact that Husk basically saved Angel from possibly being SA'd again, and Angel doesn't even think to thank him. Like, most of Angel's trauma comes from Valentino and abusing him, so like, why wouldn't he be like, oh my god, like, thank you, you saved me from a very traumatic situation? Like, what the fuck? Imagine somebody saves you for being assaulted and you're like, well, I didn't ask you to help me. Something else that, like, god, this is such a white person term, but like, something else that really grinds my gears is the fact that Angel has the fucking audacity to say, oh, you think after how you treated me, I'm gonna open up to you. What are you talking about? What did he do that was so wrong? pushing you off after you violated his boundaries? Fuck do you mean after everything he did to you? What about after everything you did to him? From the sexual harassment, making fun of his past, calling him an asshole, violating his boundaries multiple times. After the shit you did to him, you should be lucky that he even wants to fucking help you. This dialogue genuinely pisses me off. I'm sorry, I really didn't mean for this video to be so disorganized. I was planning on putting like everything about HuskerDust in one section, but like it's kind of hard to talk about why I don't like Angel without talking about what he does to Husk. So my apologies. But, you know, let's go back to HuskerDust later. Angel may treat Husk bad, and of course, you know, that's bad, but still so many other characters in the hotel, and Angel has to treat those guys better, right? Right? It also shows how he really isn't nice to the rest of the hotel, but he gets mad when they show him that same energy. Treat others the way you want to be treated, dude. There's also a clip where Vaggie calls Angel out. I can't fucking find the scene on YouTube, but basically Charlie was saying to Pinchas that it was nice to have a first real guest at the hotel, and then Angel was like, what about me? And then Vaggie says something along the lines of, you constantly make us look bad, sexually harass the staff, and have never tried to change. And then Angel gets triggered and he goes up in his room and is sad about it and whatever. Okay, but like, where's the lie? Vaggie isn't wrong. That's something I like about her. She doesn't sugarcoat anything. She just tells it like it is. Like, you can sympathize with someone while also calling out their faults. As Vaggie said, Angel literally didn't try to change at all, not until Husk butt in. And then when Vaggie calls him out, he's all upset. Sometimes the truth hurts. Someone had to say it. And also, Angel openly admits to not caring about the hotel and that he only stays there for the free rent. So why is he upset by this? You're the one who told them you didn't care about the hotel. But then when they don't consider you an important member of the team, you get upset? And I didn't even want to talk about the Charlie scene because Angel had a right to be upset. He did tell Charlie not to come to his job, but it's obvious that he wasn't mad at her. He was more just yelling because he was afraid for what Val would do to him, and I do appreciate the fact that he accepts her apology later. That's all I'm gonna say about it. Okay, now we're finally moving back to HuskerDust. Again, I'm so sorry for this video being so disorganized. I already went over like a large portion of my opinions on this ship. I'm just gonna be covering some important scenes that I didn't mention before. Again, I really don't like the fact that Angel treats Husk like shit just to make himself feel better. It's so mind-boggling to me that Angel has the balls to say, oh, after how you treated me, you think I'm gonna open up to you. Like, I cannot think of one time where Husk has been a dick to Angel, but I can name a fuck ton of times where Angel has been a dick to Husk. But apparently that doesn't matter because Angel has been through worse, and that makes it okay for him to take his anger out on somebody who has nothing to do with any of this. Also, oh my lord, this next scene is a scene that I have never seen anyone call out before. I'm just gonna, oh my god, this scene genuinely like makes me so angry. I'm gonna have to prepare myself for this one.
You know what? You would be fucking lucky to get a chance to fuck me. You know how much I'm worth? You know how many people would kill to have Angel Dust come on to them? Fuck you.
Can you fucking imagine if this was a straight man sexually harassing a woman and then being pushed off and then telling her, oh, well, you should be lucky. I'm worth so much. Like, what the fuck? Are you serious? Like, I cannot believe I have never seen anybody touch on this before. Like, oh my god. I am definitely not saying that what Angel does to Husk is the equivalent of what Val does to Angel. Of course not. But just because what Val has done to Angel is quote-unquote worse than what Angel has done to Husk, that doesn't mean what Angel is doing to Husk is automatically okay or better just because it's quote-unquote not as bad. And again, I still don't understand this mindset. Like, Angel knows what it's like to be objectified and used for your body, so like, why does he want Husk to feel the same way that he felt? Husk has been nothing but nice to him. I just don't understand why Angel would want to make Husk feel the same way that he feels. I'm gonna sound harsh here. I really don't care that this is a coping mechanism. Any coping mechanism that involves hurting someone else, either physically or emotionally, is completely invalid in my book. Let's put this into real world terms again. I'm in my senior year of high school right now, about to graduate. Everybody clap for me. I've been bullied throughout all of my years of high school. Would that automatically make it okay for me to harass innocent kids, shove them into lockers, and tell them to end their lives just because I myself have been bullied? I've also experienced sexual harassment in the past. Would that make it okay for me to go out and sexually harass other people just to make myself feel better? No, that isn't how this works in the real world. Angel has been through horrible things at the hands of Valentino, and that is incredibly sad, but I'm sorry, it still just makes me so uncomfortable and angry when Angel treats Husk like like shit. The instant friendship between them makes no sense. It was all too sudden and rushed. I'm not saying Angel doesn't deserve love and that he's a monster or whatever, but he doesn't realize what he was doing wrong until Husk calls him out for it. You don't need someone to call you out on sexually harassing people to get you to stop. You should already know it's wrong. If Angel was a decent person at this time, he would have already known what he was doing wasn't right and he would have apologized to Husk. But guess what? He never does, not even after he's called out. I just don't understand how Husk was so willing to forgive Angel, despite Angel never apologizing and everything that happened. He might just be a nicer person than me, cause if I'm being honest, I probably wouldn't have forgiven him. I don't like how the show Hazbin Hotel basically brushes every shitty thing that Angel does to Husk aside, because the person who did all of this to him has trauma. Having Husk forgive Angel so easily is basically them saying what Angel is doing is fine because he has trauma. Fuck how Husk feels. Could argue that this is supposed to show Husk is a very kind and patient person, but like, come on man, like you are not obligated to forgive this kind of behavior. I always hated that. Like, you ever see like those stupid ass tweets that's like, forgiving the person that hurt you isn't for them, it's for you to heal. Like, shut the fuck up, man. Get out. Get out! I'm sorry, I just really wanted to use that sound effect again. I'm sorry, this is gonna make me sound like an asshole, but I feel like Angel is really too mentally unstable for a relationship. He needs a friend more than anything else right now. I'm sorry, it's just not fair to Husk. Again, like, I just hate how everything has to have some kind of excuse. It's funny because it's like, by giving Angel this pass and saying, oh, well, he's hypersexual, it's all or nothing, so you have to give that pass to every victim of SA that has gone out and done it to other people. Like, would you be saying that if a straight man was unfortunately a victim of sexual harassment or SA in the past and went out and did it to a woman? I think the instant friendship between Husk and Angel just doesn't make a lot of sense. I'm thinking it's probably just because of runtime purposes, but like they went from this to this in like 5 minutes. And again, like Husk must be some kind of saint because I would be so much more hesitant to accept this because Angel never apologized. And again, never apologizes for it, and that's one of the other reasons why I'm just so hesitant to ship these two. Like, I would be so much more open to this ship if their interactions went something like this. Like, let's say this scene plays out in episode 4 after the bar scene, after Husk pushes Angel away. And then, instead of singing their whole song and having their talk outside and whatever, Angel stays in the hotel, and then later he goes to find us to talk about what happened. Alright, so this is my very shittily, poorly production scene. My envision of, like, the most ideal situation here. So we got Angel, you know, he walks up to Husk, and he's like, hey, Husk, can I talk to you for a sec? Yeah, sure, what is it? I just wanted to sincerely apologize for my actions earlier. With the way I was touching you and stuff, you made it very clear you were uncomfortable. You showed me you were obviously uncomfortable, and I completely ignored that and continued to push your boundaries, and for that, I'm really sorry. I usually don't like opening up to people, but I feel like you deserve to know this because my actions have hurt you. I have a lot of issues going on in my personal life, and I'm used to just being toyed with and treated like an object, and somebody whose only value is sex. I promise I won't act like that towards you anymore. Wow, Angel, I am so sorry. I didn't realize you had so much going on in your life. If you ever need a bartender to talk to, I'll always be here for you. And I'm gonna forgive you for this one. We all make shitty mistakes. That's why we're in hell. But like Charlie said, the first step to becoming a better person is to admit when you're wrong, and you're a very brave person for coming forward and admitting that. I appreciate the apology. It's all good now. If you ever want to start our friendship over from scratch sometime, we can. I would really like to get to know the real you. Wow, Husk, oh my god. You're a really good guy. Thank you so much for forgiving me. It's cool. You sincerely apologized and said you wouldn't do it again. So I forgive you. Everything's cool. And then, like, you know, they hug and it's all wholesome and shit. Maybe they kiss, consensually, of course. And then maybe they fuck later, like, who knows? Okay, so obviously I was kind of goofing off during this scene. I'm not saying, oh, this is exactly how their conversation would play out, because nobody talks like that. But you guys got the idea of what I was trying to say, right? Like, I just think it would have worked so much better if Angel came up and sincerely apologized and they had like a wholesome talk and bonding moment instead of just, you're a loser, baby. But that's okay because I'm a loser too, and so we can be losers together. Speaking of being losers, baby, I'm gonna cover both Loser Baby and Poison in the same section. This was something I didn't do in my previous video, so you're welcome. Look how hard I work for you guys. So I'm gonna be defending Loser Baby here a little bit. Like, I've seen people saying that it's a victim-blaming song, and even if it wasn't written to be that way, that's the way it comes off. And I don't know, maybe I'm stupid, but like, I did not get this vibe at all. Nothing in this song screamed, oh, Husk is making fun of Angel for being assaulted. Like, I never got that vibe from this song. The song is literally, you suck, but I suck too. We both fucked up. but we could be here for each other. And I love it. It's a nice message. Despite my many critiques of Has Been Hotel, I will say that the music is really good. I thought it was pretty sweet animation-wise and lyric-wise. It's pretty good. I know this is a really loved one in the fandom, and back when I ranked all of the Has Been Hotel songs in a video that is now privated, I privated it because it made me cringe, but thankfully it didn't get a ton of traction. But if you guys do want me to remake that video, let me know, because I love talking about music. But anyway, I think there's almost 20 songs in Has Been Hotel. I think Loser Baby was ranked like 6th or 5th or something like that. I ranked it pretty high. I just never got the vibe that Husk is like calling Angel a loser for being assaulted. Like, that's pretty shitty. And Husk isn't the type of person to do that. Maybe like the execution of the lyrics could have been better instead of calling Angel a loser.
隠したが隠したにつこうが俺にはどうでもいいが
は隠したに言われたくねえ
誰が隠しただ
Not a loser! Take that back!
I don't know, maybe he could have called Angel something a little nicer instead of calling him a loser. Like, then maybe people wouldn't be upset. I don't know, man. But overall, I think that this was like a decent song for these two. I just don't like the placement of it in the show. Again, it's probably because of runtime purposes that they can't make the episodes too long, but I just feel like it was all so sudden. Angel and Husk, in my opinion at least, like make up far too quickly for it to feel natural. If this song took place in like episode 5 or something, then maybe it would be fine, but it just seems so unnatural for them to have this kind of duet like right after they were just trying to bite each other's heads off 5 minutes ago. Now, moving on to Poison, I don't exactly remember where I ranked this song. I don't even have an estimate, but I remember not ranking it too high, which probably upsets people because I know that this song is very loved in the fandom. And I could see why. It's catchy. I sometimes catch myself singing it sometimes, to be honest. And Blake Roman's portrayal of Angel Dust is fantastic. Like, as much as I don't like his character, I can acknowledge good voice acting when I see it. Or when I hear it, I guess. And like, even though I don't like Angel, I definitely did feel bad for him during this song. Like, he's definitely a very broken person. It is incredibly sad. Like, even though I don't like Angel, I can acknowledge the fact that I do feel some sympathy for him. I think any rational person would. The lyrics for this song aren't like something I really mind. I think that they're fine. The main thing that kind of bothers me is the visuals. So even if one of the writers who animated this wasn't a Val and Angel shipper, I would still find these visuals to be kind of disturbing, but that's probably just me being a prude. I mean, I think like the colors are pretty and nice. I like Angel's outfit here, but the fact that one of the animators who animated this has a fetish, it doesn't exactly help this music video's case. Like, I would have already been uncomfortable with the visuals. The fact that one of the animators who helped has a fetish, it just makes it like so much more disturbing to look at. Oh, and yes, if you haven't watched all of my videos, first of all, get the fuck out and do your homework. Watch every single one of my videos, including the 1 hour and 10 minute long Zoro video, and then come back. You guys remember when I was talking about the ships in the Helliverse, and I said Fizz and Ozzy had like DDLB relationship, and I said that yes, I am in fact kink shaming? Well, this goes for you too, random writer on Vizzy's team. Yes, I am kink shaming, and I'm gonna try to be as unbiased as I possibly can here. I don't know, like, I just really don't like the fact that it seems like these visuals are almost like glamorizing this life. Like Angel smiling and dancing provocatively, like, it just kind of puts me off. I mean, I guess this is his way to cope with his trauma, and he's not exactly hurting anybody, except for my eyes. But I don't know, like, I just feel like it's kind of distasteful to have an SA victim, like, portrayed in such a sexualized manner. It kind of reminds me of Anta Kamiki from Persona 5. Her whole arc is about being sexualized by the gym teacher, and then when she finally awakens to her persona, her outfit is sexualized, and it's like, what? I guess in these cases, people might say it's empowering because it's like, maybe they're taking the sexualization, like, back for themselves. I mean, I guess that's one way to look at it, but I just always found it distasteful. So overall, I don't hate the song Poison. I know it's like a loved one. Like, even if we just completely forget about how creepy the animator for Poison is, like, in general, the visuals are just kind of off-putting just because of Angel's trauma, but again, that is just my personal opinion. Again, I am so fucking sorry that this video is so shittily organized. I use CapCut as my video editing software, and like, it is very hard to move things around, so like, I would have put these sections towards the front of the video, but with CapCut, it's like, if you move one thing, you have to move everything after it, and it's annoying, and it's a difficult process. So yeah, again, I apologize for this video being so poorly structured and seemingly out of order, because we still have things to talk about. So something I've seen a lot of people saying is that they preferred HuskerDust in the pilot, and honestly I have to agree. For the most part I thought he was fun and cheeky, and I like the fact that his humor didn't only revolve around sex jokes. I mean, most of his jokes were sex jokes, but he did have some funny moments without them. People say Angel seemed a lot more nice and respectful in the pilot, and I can kind of see this, but I mean, I think the main reason is because he didn't have much screen time. He was still kind of weird to Husk, but he only made comments like this once and then took the hint and never did it again, so props. But again, I think it's only because the pilot is so short, and I'm like 90% sure the pilot isn't canon, but I thought this would be interesting to talk about. I feel like if Angel was more charming in a respectful way, rather than coming off as too flirty and constantly violating people's boundaries, and then portraying Husk as some kind of bad guy for pushing him off, I would have liked Angel a lot more. I think a great comparison with this is Sanji from One Piece in the anime versus the live action. I absolutely adore live action Sanji, and I love Sanji in the anime, don't get me wrong, he's one of my favorite characters, but his behavior definitely gets annoying. In the live action, he was charming and seemed more like a gentleman, but without seeming like a downright creep like he is in the anime. Anime is a cartoon, so it's exaggerated for humor, but my point still stands. I do wish that they did something similar with Angel. You can have a fun and flirty character who is still respectful and doesn't get mad at people who reject their advances. Now, something that I want to go over that I didn't mention in my first HuskerDust video that I feel like I really should have mentioned was the whole perfect victim argument. There is no right way to be a victim. I've seen people saying that Angel is terrible representation for people who were SA'd. Like, it's not a wrong thing to be hypersexual. It's not something that a person chooses, and I'm sure it's a pain in the ass to deal with, so I feel bad for those people. So I think the people that say that Angel is terrible SA representation are being ignorant. You can't say, oh, support SA victims, but then say that somebody who's hypersexual is bad representation, doesn't act like a victim. That's not my problem with HuskerDust. My problem isn't the fact that he's hypersexual or is heavily implied to be hypersexual. It's the fact that people use that as some kind of excuse, and the fact that he never apologizes to Husk. I think the hypersexual representation is actually very important. I've never seen it anywhere. I didn't even know it was a thing before I even watched Hazbin Hotel. I've never seen a canonically hypersexual character, and it's an important issue to brush on because I feel like it gets shoved under the rug and mischaracterized a lot. So yeah, I do feel like it's pretty damn insulting to view Angel as gross because of his hypersexuality. You could be put off by his behavior, but flat out saying that he doesn't act like a real victim is pretty damn disrespectful. That's not the part that I think is gross about him. The part that I think is gross is the fact that he refuses to lay off and accept the fact that Husk is uncomfortable. So I just want to make it clear again that this video wasn't me trying to say, oh, well, if you like him, you're a bad person, or trying to convince you not to like him. Angel definitely does become a better person throughout the course of season 1, such as when he's worried about Nifty in the club after she was drinking too much, and when he forgives Charlie for going into his workplace even after he told her not to. And it's clear that he does try to change after Husk calls him out, even though in my opinion he shouldn't have needed the call out, but whatever. You can tell how much happier he is after Husk intervenes, and honestly, good for him. Like, he deserves to be happy after everything that he's been through. So I'm not saying that Angel is a horrible and heartless person. The most frustrating thing about Angel's character, at least in my opinion, has to be the double standards, knowing that if Angel was a straight man who sexually harassed a woman, he would be far less popular in the fandom. If Angel had simply received a fair call out for all of his actions and actually apologized to Husk, then maybe I would have warmed up to him a little bit. But anyways, this concludes the video. I'm really sorry that this video came first before my Still Is Part 2 video. I know you guys probably wanted that one first. However, I did not expect this HuskerDust video to be this long because my original Angel video was only around 21 minutes, and when I finished recording for this new video, it turned out to be over 30 minutes with all the stuff I added, which was completely unexpected, so I probably should have started with my Stolas video first. I just didn't know how long this one would end up being with all the stuff I added. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm gonna be working hard editing to try to get that Stolas video out for you guys as soon as possible. I hope all of you have a great day.